From the moment we were born, we already knew how to communicate our needs. We cry to call our parents' attention, so our parents will then check if we have a wet diaper or if we need to be fed. You see, communication can happen even in the absence of language. Ironically, there are times that communication is difficult even in the presence of language. This challenge in communication is what we are going to unravel today as we discuss communication barriers. I am Teacher T and I welcome you all to the third episode of TLE, Making Life Easy. Have you experienced being hooked during an activity? Say you are watching your favorite show or reading your homework, but suddenly your neighbor's karaoke was turned up to its full volume. How about right now? While you're watching this episode, your younger siblings start yelling and running around. Or you just remember that you have to do an errand before your parents arrive. These distractions are called noise that certainly make the flow of communication difficult, resulting in misunderstanding and misinformation. However, a person with good communication skills knows how to avoid and control these types of noise. One best practice is to identify what the noise is and its source in a communicative situation. In the given scenarios above, we had the following noise examples. Number 1, loud karaoke. Number 2, kids playing loudly. Number 3, worrying over an unfinished task. Now that we know what they are, we will need to identify their sources, and that will lead us to number 1, neighbor. 2, kids. 3, parents. Oh no, just kidding. It is the chore that has to be done before your parents arrive. Now that we have identified and know what the sources are, we can take preventive action before engaging in a communicative process or situation. You may want to pay your neighbor money. Oh no, we would not do that. Kidding aside, just pay your neighbor a nice visit and let them know what your activities are and how long will it last. A nice neighbor will surely understand and let you get through your activity undistracted. However, there are instances that it will not work, so you better bring a cup on your next visit, unless you can afford soundproofing your theater or study room. Your siblings are another story. If they are too young to be persuaded, it's going to be a hard task to prevent them from distracting you during your online class or while you're watching DepEd TV. But I believe you can come up with a creative way to tame them. If it's your unfinished task, just apply the planning skills we learned 2 episodes ago. You may want to schedule doing the task before you sit in front of your TV or smartphone. Sorry, I will have to take this. This is another example of distraction or noise. Yes, you are right. I should have turned it off, but I thought it was a call. But it's actually a reminder for a letter that I need to send before 9 tonight. I have enough time to do it later after our lessons. Speaking of time and the letter I was supposed to send, time can also be a barrier to communication. It especially affects written communication. Messages not sent or received at the right time may cause major misunderstanding between the communicators. That is why I did set the reminders because I do not want to get in trouble. And in your future role as an employee, failure to provide a letter of explanation because you did not receive the memo on time may get you dismissed from work. Time can also affect the quality of verbal communication. Say you are talking to a customer who is in a hurry. He's placing the order and he is getting frustrated with the slow procedure. This may mean that the customer is no longer paying attention to the details you are telling him. So, next time that you are speaking with a client, make sure you know how much time you will need to tell him or her the important details so he or she knows that you need his or her full attention. Do not forget to finish what you have to say in the agreed time. You may say, "Sir or Mom, I sense that you are in a hurry. Please allow me to explain everything you need to know in 2 minutes." And you are good to go. Suppose that your client agrees to give you 2 minutes to discuss an order. Another barrier to communication that you need to consider is the quality of the message that you will provide in such a short period of time. Unclear messages may result from vague and ambiguous sentences. Like, "I understand that you left your nurse feeling frustrated." What? Who is frustrated? The patient you are talking to or the nurse? Another cause of unclear message is the choice of words. Be mindful of your use of jargon when you are talking with someone who may not be familiar with it. Jargon is a language that is specific to a profession. It is a specialized vocabulary of any profession or industry. These words are difficult to understand by people who are not practitioners of that profession. So, avoid using them in that kind of situation. Here are some of the examples of business jargon. Accounts payable, or indebtedness of a company to its supplier for goods or services purchased and must be paid for within 1 year. More typically paid within 30 to 90 days. Accounts receivable, or amount owed from a company by its customers for goods or services supplied to them, which must be paid within 1 year. Book value. This is the net value in accounting terms of a company based on actual costs and asset values. Liquidated. A company may be liquidated or dissolved by selling all its assets and then using the cash to meet any obligations to creditors. So, when you are speaking with a client, you may want to avoid saying this jargon. Rather, use words that are common to everyone, like bill instead of accounts receivable, because a bill becomes a part of your company's account receivable until it is paid in full. Communication barriers may also root from cultural differences between the sender and the receiver. And this is called ethnocentrism, or the act of judging the culture of others on the basis of what is acceptable in the culture of one communicator. It includes the idea that one culture is superior to others. Another communication barrier we should all avoid when speaking with others or with clients in contact centers is prejudgment, or the act of judging what someone has to say even before he or she speaks, and dismissing someone's ideas because of the belief that you know better. It is neither polite nor productive. To make sure that our time has been productive, let us check your understanding of the different communication barriers. You will be given several communication scenarios, and you will need to identify the type of communication barriers in the situation. So, get your pen and paper ready for a short quiz. The choices will be displayed here. All you have to do is number your paper from 1 to 5. Ready? Scene 1. A contact center agent was sleepy during a call. Scene 2. While confirming an order for a breast pump, you ask your patient for a prescription from her OB/GYN. She got confused about what you were talking about. Scene 3. A client does not want to transact with you because of your accent. He is asking for an onshore agent. Scene 4. The client was furious about not getting his statement of account on time. He was charged interest because he made a late payment. Scene 5. As a new agent, you have a poor to average fluency in the English language. Done? Alright, let's check your answers. The answer in scene number 1 is noise, an external one, because it is a physiological noise. In scene number 2, the answer is jargon, because the Filipino agent thought that OB/GYN, the common abbreviation for an obstetrician gynecologist here in the Philippines, is the same in the US. The agent should have said OB/GYN to be understood in the US. Scene 3 is prejudgment. Client prejudged the ability of the agent to process the transaction based on the agent's accent. Scene 4 is time, because the company failed to email the client a statement of account on time. Scene 5 is quality of message, due to a new agent's poor communication skills. Okay, I assume our time has been productive indeed. Just remember that identifying these communication barriers and avoiding them will help you become an effective communicator. If that last scene in quiz worries you, don't be. We have just started learning how to communicate effectively in English. That only means that there is so much more for us to learn together here. So let's start improving your oral skills. I would require you to strictly repeat after me. Come on, stand up for our pronunciation activity. By the way, you may want to download the learning module for your TLE 10 ICT Contact Center services from DepEd Commons, and you will find the same activity on pages 60 to 65 respectively. Let us start! Say the English word man several times. Now cut out the last two letters and say a long This time, say the middle letter, which is a, then say the last letter, which is n or n. How many speech sounds do you think there are in the word man? Most probably, you will say 3, and will state them to be a, which is denoted as a and n. Phonemes are the smallest unit of speech. It is similar to a single letter vowel or consonant. In the English language, however, the number of letters in a word does not correspond to the number of phonemes. For example, the word call has 4 letters but contains only 3 phonemes, which will denote as K, O, and L. Phonemes are classified as vowels or consonants in the English language. One difficulty of non-native English speakers encounter is pronouncing the voiced and unvoiced consonants. Say the word pup. Do it again and put your hand in front of your mouth. Pup. Did you notice that the air produced as you pronounce the word? When you say the word pup, you are producing the phoneme P. It is an example of a consonant phoneme produced using a strong voiceless articulation. This type of phoneme produces a popping sound but is unvoiced or voiceless. Voiceless means producing a sound without the vibration of the vocal cords. This time, try to say the word voice twice. When you say it the second time, place your palm on your throat. Did you feel the vibration in your throat? Some consonants are produced using a weak, potentially voiced articulation. To produce these phonemes, there must be a vibration in the throat area. Hence, when you say the word voice, a vibration is produced because of the presence of the phoneme V. Voiced and unvoiced consonants differ in the manner of articulation, but the placement of the vocal apparatus is similar. In order to pronounce these phonemes properly, the vocal apparatus should be in the correct position. Speaking of vocal apparatus, let us study this figure, which label the important parts of our vocal apparatus. Obviously, this is a face, this is the teeth, the tongue tip, the roof of the mouth, and the tooth ridge. As we practice pronunciation, you will notice that the shape of the vocal tract is altered. I learned that all vowels are voiced, all diphthongs are voiced, and consonants can be either voiced or unvoiced. Basically, you will know consonants that have a voice in them if there is a vibration from your vocal cords, like in B, while unvoiced consonants are made just with air and no vibration from the vocal cords, like in P. Read after me. These are the examples of unvoiced consonants. Pennsylvania, citizenship, telephone, today, country, conversation, bookmark. Long Beach, approachable, obituary. Fiji Islands, sophisticated, sheriff, Chicago, conscience. These are the examples of voiced consonants. Baltimore, Alabama, subscribe, do, advantage, accepted, good, again, investigate, journal, giant, manager, knowledge, visit, cove, expensive, closure, camouflage, mirage, With other consonants in the English language, there's no distinction on being voiced and unvoiced. This table shows the list of the other English consonants. Consonant H or H. Example: health, Hawaii. Consonant M or M. Example: machine, Minnesota. Consonant N or N. Examples: November, New Hampshire. Consonant Nang or N. Example: English, clarifying. Consonant L or L. 11, Florida. Consonant R or R. Example: ranch, chair. Consonant W or W. Example: Washington, West Virginia. Consonant Y or Y. Example: New York, Yellowstone Park. There is also a big difference in how Filipinos and Americans pronounce vowels. In American English, vowels can be classified into three: 1. Short vowels, 2. Long vowels, and 3. Diphthongs. The short vowel E, example: kit, kit. The long vowel A, example: palm, palm. The short vowel E, example: dress, dress. The long vowel E, example: square. The short vowel A, example: trap. The long vowel E, example: fleece, fleece. The short vowel O, example: lot. The long vowel O, example: float. The short vowel U, example: foot. The long vowel U, example: goose. The short vowel example: strut. The long vowel example: nurse, nurse. The short vowel example: bonus, bonus. Diphthongs are vowel phonemes produced by gliding from one vowel to another. The vowel A, example: face. The vowel I, example: price. The vowel OI, example: choice. The vowel OA, example: coat. The vowel OW, example: mouth. The vowel example: near. The vowel U, example: cure. So there we have it, dear learners. I hope that this pronunciation practice has given you an idea of the areas that you need to improve on. If you want to learn and get more practice on pronunciation, you can search pronunciation practice on YouTube or download an IPA phonetic alphabet app wherever you get your app. Also, you may want to have a speaking partner who also want to improve on the area that you're working on. And that is all for today's episode. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you soon in our next episode. We will learn about sentence construction and grammar. This has been Teacher T on TLE, Making Life Easy.